Up this week, I'm going to show you how to do the most beautiful bavette steak with crispy kale, sweet potato, and finished off with the most stunning mushroom and red wine jus. Look at that. Okay, so steak. We've got to steer past the whole going to the supermarket and getting yourself a rump steak, ribeye, sirloin steak. We want to look past that really and go for some more old butchery techniques, some old cuts if you like. Now I've teamed up with Donald Russell. I've been using these guys for the last 4 months now, and their meats are insanely good. And I can promise you, click on the website, which is in the description box down below, which takes you straight through to their site, 24-hour delivery. Insanely good meats, grass-fed beef first of all, matured to the perfect amount of time, and it is so good. So today we're going to be doing a really nice simple steak dish using exactly this. First up, we're going to get a sweet potato onto a tray, little drizzle with olive oil, and then a generous pinch of salt just over the top, and that can go to an oven at 180 Celsius for around 35 minutes. And you want that skin to puff up, but that potato to retain all that sticky, lovely sort of flavour, and it's almost like caramelising it. So that can go straight into your oven. And what you end up with is this. You've got the most beautiful potato. That skin can virtually just fall off there. We can just stick that to one side. Most important things about using your steak: get that meat up to room temperature first of all. You don't want it to be going from really cold to a hot pan. Everything tightens up straight away and it goes as tough as old boots. We do not want this. These are handcrafted steaks. You want to look after them, okay? So let's undo the packaging on this. And secondly, we're going to get on with a really nice sauce and our steak as well. So into our pan, we have got some dried shiitake mushrooms here, and into that we're going to add some boiling water. We're just going to really rehydrate those mushrooms themselves. We've got a good pinch of salt in there, and then we've just got a very small amount of fresh thyme. Just drag that down the back of the sprig, and that can go straight into the liquid as well. And with the mushrooms itself, we're going to use that lovely sort of enhanced flavour, that real sort of strong, pungent mushroom flavour from here to infuse our steak sauce afterwards. So we're just going to bring that up to a nice boil, and then we're going to get a second pan onto a nice high heat. A little bit of oil onto the steak itself. You want a generous season on there as well. So good amount of salt. Steak loves pepper, so a good amount of pepper just over the top. And you can see there, look at the quality of that steak. It is only the best cuts they use there. So I can promise you, get using them. It will be a game changer for you. Pan's nice and hot. Let's get our steak in there. 3 minutes either side is perfect for this. 5 minutes to rest, so it can just start releasing some of those beautiful flavours. Into our pan, we have got a sprig of rosemary, a couple of sprigs of thyme. We've got a clove of garlic. Right, straight away, we're going to flip this back over, and then we're going to add a generous portion of butter as well. So I'd say about 15 grams of butter is going to go in here. Tilt the pan away from you, and you just want to baste that garlicky, buttery herbs all over the steak itself. And this is when you're using these really nice cuts of meat, you've got to think about giving them a little bit of love back. So make sure you're not going to overcook this one. Flip it over on both sides. You can see there that butter is completely cooked. You've done a beautiful sear to the outside of the steak itself. You have that lovely garlic and rosemary flavours in there. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I want this reasonably rare. So I'm just going to transfer this over to our other pan with our potato. Just to rest off. We're going to get rid of some of that butter. We're going to leave some of the juices in there to carry on making a beautiful jus. So, we've got our garlic, we've got our thyme and our rosemary. We're going to add some balsamic vinegar, add some red wine, and we're going to add some decent quality beef stock. And then lastly, we just want to add a small amount of brown sugar. Another little mix round. That's thickening up now. That's what you're looking for, this beautiful, full of flavour. Now the mushrooms can go in. Little splash of water back into this pan, back onto your heat. And we're going to add a decent handful of our kale and a little splash. We've got some honey here. Okay, you see here, our sauce has reduced to this perfect, lovely thick glaze. That can just be transferred just straight into a dish ready to serve up. And then using the same pan, we've got all that caramelization, that's the flavor in there. We're gonna add our kale quickly into there. And literally, because that's just been blanched off, it's going to soften that up nicely. We're going to crisp this back up now with using the caramelization from the sugar and everything from the steak juices, and that is going to be perfect to serve up. We've got our plate. We've got some of our beautiful crispy kale. We've got our sweet potato. Literally just going to drag our knife straight down the middle and push this open. That can go straight into our bowl. We've got our steak just over here. And that's been resting, which is so, so important with this sort of meat. You want to give it the most respect that you possibly can. And then we're just going to slice this up now. Nice and thin. And that, look how beautifully pink that is. You don't want to have it too rare. You want it to have that almost like that char outside, but that beautiful soft pink center. That can go straight onto our plate. And now we've got our gorgeous dressing here, just our shiitake mushrooms, just over the top. Small pinch of salt just over the top. Finish it off with a little bit of pepper. And that is my bavette steak with the most simple crispy kale, finished off with a beautiful porcini mushroom and red wine jus. And you can really taste the garlic and the red wine through there. Just finished it off with a really simple, salted, oiled, sweet potato. You don't need to do anything to that. That's packed full of flavour as it is. Look, if there's one thing you need to do is check out the Donald Russell website, and promise you, if you put an order in and you get their steaks, just give me some feedback and let me know what you think, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to be using those over the next 6 months for all of my recipes, and it is insanely good stuff. Look, hopefully you enjoyed it this week, guys. Get recreating this one. If you do, hashtag me as Haste as always. And I'll see you next week. Cheers then, bye-bye.